Hello, my name is Atelier, and welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3 as Ethiopia. In previous episode we managed to get a bit of a chunk of Yemen over here, and I don't know if we'll be conquering these two today. Probably, actually. We're also trying to sort of set up our economy in such a way that we can start expanding a bit further. And I'm hoping to get the charity hospitals done today, just so that we can start getting the education or the literacy rate going up a little bit, because that is going to allow us to get the text a bit faster, among other things. But let's just unpause, shall we? And of course, Madagascar is going to be one of the targets that we want, because there's a whaling station for oil, there's the coal, and of course there's the logging camps and all that. Also, of course, we could also do a lot of farming in there, so it's pretty decent in that. Is there... There is potentially discoverable resource. I think that's mostly going to be rubber, though. I presume. I'm not actually entirely sure. I know that over here the discoverable resources, I think, are rubber. There's nothing in Somaliland that can be discovered, but over here in Ethiopia, I know that one of my test runs, I did get rubber over here as well as over here, I believe. And then that one's probably the same then. So at least, you know, we can have some rubber production, but not necessarily much. Health taxes. I think what we're going to do is we're going to say government should cover the costs, because that's 30% chance of enactment chance there. It is a bit costly, but we've got basically full gold reserves anyway. If we look at the things, so states in turmoil, Somaliland and Yemen are in turmoil indeed. Not too much I can do about it, unfortunately. We can support more declare interest. Let's actually have a look. I could declare Egypt as, or Nile as one of the interests, or I could declare interest over there, but I think we're going to declare Nile as an interest. That's going to allow us to eventually then start expanding into Egypt. Egypt is still fighting war against Ottomans as well. How much do they have troops? Just of curiosity. They got a total of 60 battalions, at least on paper. I don't know how much of those are actually going to be active, but that is at least what they could have right now. So there's Kashmir State does have a bit of troops. That's 11 battalions total, and of course you have nothing. So that is going to be an easy expansion in there. Let's just double check the... So Ottoman Empire... You're still cautious, but as long as you're in war, I don't think you'll be interfering with anything. Russia is fine. France is fine. Oh, the duel. Who's dueling? The Armed Forces Interest Group's leader and the Industrialist leader. I'm going to let them fight. Surely it's not going to go badly. Not going to even check who died. Because it is right now a little bit irrelevant. Okay, so the regular numbers are going down slowly. We got the university thing done. Higher learning. So society should be ruled by philosopher kings. University building throughput plus 25%. Political strength of academics goes up by 50%. Or we can get a little bit of progress on the empiricism. I believe that is one of the things that is spreading to us right now, isn't it? Let's have a look. Yes, it is. I'm going to take that one then, because that means that we'll get attacked a lot sooner. Since we only have 2 universities, then the university throughput is not going to be that much. Like, it does increase the qualifications a little bit, which does mean that there's going to be a lot of people in here ready for working for other things. Hidden communities. Right, so this is more about the slavery things over here. We're going to get more radicals for discrimination in Amhara. Or we could just... You know what? The landowners can suck it for the time being. How much... Okay, the loyalty is at 0, or approval is at 0. The church really loves us, and that increases birth rate by 2%, which is actually not bad. I'm just hoping to get the charity hospitals done soon. We don't have a massive amount of bureaucracy available. Hopefully it will be sufficient. It's going to be minus 77 once we get the... Or if we get the hospitals passed, though. So that will cause some issues. Did we get the iron mine in here? We did. Alright, so we got 2 iron mines currently running. Of course, one of them is not running full speed yet, but we're at least getting some iron. How much are we still missing? 24. So, well, we got another mine underway at least. That'll be done eventually. Now, how soon are we getting there? Okay, it's going to be another 2 years for the shipyard. With this speed, anyway. Or construction speed. I do wonder, though. If we have a look at the diplomatic place over here again. So these two are fighting a war, so they probably are not going to be interested in me. Russia is cordial. France is amicable. Or both are genial in their attitude. Britain is protective. Ottomans are cautious, but if we don't give them a chance, then I think No, might be a good chance to do a war over here. While they haven't improved our relations, they are improving our relations, but while they haven't improved enough to prevent us from fighting, how about we do a conquer war over there? It might increase our, you know, reputation to the worst, but it'll be fine. Let's mobilize our Emperor once again. It's a bit of a narrow front for him, but it'll be fine. I do wonder if, well, I mean, it's going to take a while before anyone can join. We've got a pretty good amount of money in here. I'm hoping that once we conquer all of this... Oh, there we go, Empirism unlocked. What is going to be the next thing? Well, I suppose we'll need to wait a little bit before we see that. Mass communication. Okay, that's going to increase the authority that we have. That's actually going to be pretty good. Please pass that. Nope. Well, it did increase the success chance at least, so now it's 50% chance. Oh, who joined? Need. Don't think I can put a war goal in there, or like I can't enter in there unless someone like Hedgehog joins. In which case, yeah, if I take all these three, that'd be nice. But we're certainly increasing our influence in here. These two have joined. Of course, they won't be able to... Well, actually, technically speaking, they might be able to sail around from there, but it's very unlikely that they bring in anyone. There's just the war reparations. I can't get there without ships. I'm just waiting. Can they call in someone else? No, I don't think they can. They've called in everyone that they could. They do have Kazimid State leading towards them, but they can't call them in. So I think we'll be alright in this. And those 4 units, I don't think they even have a fleet, do they? They got a port, but no, they have no fleet. These don't even have a port. So this is presumably going to be an easy victory. Hejaz is improving relations. I wonder if they are still a tributary of Egypt. Actually, what does a tributary do? Does it say anything? No, it just says tributary. Okay, well that's not very helpful. I'm presuming they give us money to Egypt. And that sort of stuff, but I don't know if they are protected by Egypt. I guess that is something that we can figure out later. But, you know, we're conquering more and more of Yemen over here. Ah, paddle steamer has been done, so that's 10% more convoys. Speaking of which, how much do we have available? 66. Okay, that's not a lot. Because we haven't gotten the... Oh, there we go, 2 arms. This will be an easy victory. The others, I don't think, are able to send in the troops here anyway, so this is going to be a very quick victory. And then it's just waiting for the war to end. Now, these two are... Oh, international relations has been researched. Excellent. Now, we could go with colonialism, but I don't think we're going to be able to get much from colonialism. So I think stock exchange or banking would be a decent idea. Modern sewerage would be good as well for the infrastructure, because we've got a lot of places that need more. Or I could go the central archives, but that's 5 years to research right now. So it's probably better for us to just wait a little bit longer in that. Let's just get the stock exchange, shall we? That's 21 months. That's going to open up more of the trade laws later on. Speaking of which, we're still getting the... Yeah, we've got 50% chance of the charity hospital still. Or 50, almost 52% chance. That seems to be taking some time. Oh, and the iron price is still through the roof. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of iron in here. But once we start advancing into Sinai over there, there's more lead and iron in there. But of course, fighting Egypt is not going to be an easy task, as can be pointed out by the massive amount of losses by the Ottomans there. So that is probably a bit of a forever war. Neither side is really winning, so they can't advance. And I think the Ottomans probably have much more troops on that front. They're the ones that are attacking. But at the same time, that Egypt is probably going to run out of troops eventually. But until then, and there we go. The war has ended. We got even more land. We've got 1.3 million radicals, though. Oh boy, I mean, the turmoil over here is pretty high. Did we get more ports by chance? What sort of buildings did we get? Got some more coffee plantations, but I'm probably going to let those be there for now. Wheat farms, did we... Oh yeah, that is still the soil enriching farming and all that. Fishing, livestock ranches. I could increase the butchering tool. Well, that would increase the tool uses, and I think the meat price is already way too low anyway. We could go for the intensive grazing though. That does increase the grain price a bit. But the fabric price goes down, fertilizer price goes down, although those are already pretty low price. But that does reduce the labor use, and clergymen use and increases farmers use. So that is actually something that will increase the standard of living in there. Although the clergymen are probably middle strata, I would assume. So, you know, it also has a bit of negatives there, I suppose. But yeah, we got a standard of living of 9 in there. We've got a pretty good amount of bureaucracy right now. So I'm just going to start incorporating some of the states here. Both Yemen and Eritrea. Somaliland, I believe we already... Yeah, that's incorporated already. It's going to take a while for these to be incorporated, but that's fine. We got time. And the paper mill is going to be upgraded soon. Now, to be fair, we don't use all that much paper yet. But there's actually, yeah, there's more buy orders than sell orders, so that is actually going to be useful. And once we get into Hijaz, that's going to be also good for the sulfur. We're going to start producing more paper. And we got the water tube boilers, so that's going to allow us to start reducing the amount of workers needed in a lot of places. Or at least some of the factories and all that sort of stuff, but that requires coal. Oh, now it's 61% chance of succeeding. These are really like the EU4 sieges. Just waiting for a success chance in here. Nitroglycerin is spreading to us. Okay, that's going to be good, because that means that some of the resources are going to get sort of discovered in here, which is basically rubber, I presume. Is there any resource in here that could be discovered? No. It's going to take 20 years to incorporate that state. What is the thing that we're going to build after? Oh, the shipyards are almost here, so we can start getting some ports, so that's going to increase the infrastructure, especially in Somaliland. But also, we'll probably want to get at least one port over here, just in case. Although we're not really short on infrastructure yet, but if we can increase it, that's always nice. Over here, we are definitely over the infrastructure limit, but once we get the ports using the... Oh yeah, there's 3 ports in there. So that would actually be quite nice. Furniture prices pretty much through the roof. Once we conquer Kazimid State, which to be fair, I believe we got a truce with them. Yeah, we got a truce with them until September 1859. And if we were to declare war on Hejaz, I'm not going to declare the war, but if we were to declare... Oh, we can't because we got... Right, believe it is because they are still a tributary. So I would have to declare war on Egypt to get that. So I'll just have to wait for Egypt to be... Oh, there we go. The Ottomans have gotten through. And they're still failing to push too far, but, you know, they've gotten through, so now they are getting the Tiki Wars going on their side, I presume. And, oh, they're winning another battle against Egypt. I suppose that Egypt's troops are just very... Well, they're not actually that small in strength. But I suppose... Let's actually have a look. You got line infantry. I presume you got... Yeah, you got cannons in there. The line infantry cannons versus line infantry with cannons. Huh. Might be just a very good roll then. Oh yeah, plus 20% morale damage protection certainly helped. And of course, you know, you got a lot more troops in there, so that makes a difference. Egypt is improving relations, alright. So I suppose Kazimid State is one of the few things that we can still conquer in here before we get into Hejaz. And Hejaz we can't enter yet. But, you know, we at least got a little bit of land here. We'll get a lead mine in there. Total amount of lead mines we can get on this state is, let's see, that's 9 plus... So 12 in the entire state. Emperor intervenes. Okay, we're going to get another 20% chance of success in here. So 80% chance of getting the charity hospitals now. If we don't get that soon, then I'm a bit disappointed. Okay, we got the paper mill completed. It's probably not going to be producing at full speed. And also what we do need to do is improve the logging camp numbers that we have, because we are going to need a lot of wood. Right now, if we have a look, we need 180. Of course, if you have a look at the prices, then the liquor is very high, clothing is very high, iron and furniture is very high, and tobacco is very high. So those are some things that we definitely need to start improving. Is there still a lot of infrastructure? There is still a lot of infrastructure in here, so I'm just going to get a tobacco plantation over here. And of course, also let's get a second level armed infantry so we can improve the remaining troops into line infantry. So that at least is going to give us a bit of an advantage on some of the less advanced nations, but it's not going to be a massive boost, admittedly. But yeah, the shipyard, once that is done, I'm going to put in these ports already to start using the cargo ports, so there's going to be incentive for the clipper or shipyards to start pumping out clippers. Now, it's of course going to increase the price through the roof, and it's going to mean a lot of expenditure. But I'm sure that we can get there eventually. So tobacco and furniture prices are going up, as well as a lot of other things. So we're slowly getting some more... Oh, and the amount of radicals is going down. Have we managed to get the standard of living here? It is at 10. Okay, I mean, it's better than nothing, I suppose. Still not particularly good, and the Ethiopian market is only 49%, so they won't get all the things that they need in here anyway. However, once we do get the, well, the shipyard, which is going to be done now. So this is going to be another place that we'll definitely put in the cargo port already. I suppose we should also do it over here, just in case. But yeah, that's going to start increasing the infrastructure, so that means that the market access is going to be notably better. Oh, it's only 39 here. The ports don't actually... Oh, wait, no, the ports are giving 13.4 in here. But yeah, it started increasing the access drastically. If you have a look at the government goods, so clippers and wood are very expensive. Low market access in Amhara and Somaliland. So Ethiopia, oh sorry, Yemen. Oh, there we go. We finally got the charity hospitals, but now we are over our admin limit. But that's fine. That at least reduces the mortality rates. We can't increase the level of that anywhere, but that's also not really an issue. Landowners are in a pretty good mood, so we could start maybe try removing the serfdom again, although the success chance is rather modest at best. Agrarianism, if we were to get the industrialists in there, that would give us another little bit extra in there. I think we might want to try for the agrarianism anyway. And what we're going to do is we're going to just stop bolstering the church and bolster the rural folk for the time being. If we were to bring the industrialists into the government, then that would also help. Oh, that increases the throughput of various things as well. Logging, industry, agriculture, and ranches. So, you know, it's at least something. We are losing a little bit of cash right now, but that's mostly because we got quite a, well, not that massive tax base actually, it's only 8%, but it's still waste. We could get the banking, excommunication, that's going to be done fairly soon. We could technically speed that one up, and we could start bolstering more than one thing at a time, but at the same time, banking could be very nice. You know what, that's going to be done faster, so we get the bonus from that quicker. But we're going to be mostly focusing on the society things for now. Oh! Except for the migration. Into Pondicherry. Alright, that's in India. Actually, let's have a look at the nations over here. So, France is now cautious of me. So that might sort of stop my expansion in here. Wants to conquer states owned by Ethiopia. Oh. Well, that's not very helpful. Ottoman Empire, or Ottomans managed to conquer a lot of areas here. Russia is genial, at least. Egypt is genial. Great Britain is cooperative. But yeah, we are a little bit limited on the expansion that we can do right now, but at least we'll be getting some lead from here. And actually, once we've done the... We'll probably put in a second level of the shipyard already underway. And then we'll build at least some naval bases. We'll start with 5. It takes it's actually not all that much that it takes to build one naval base, or one level of the naval base, so that's fine. And the paper price is going up. And that's actually another thing that we need to do, is get the filing cabinets. Alright, mass communication done, excellent. There's the colonialism, let's... You know what? What's in the military? There's a shell gun. There's the smooth borers, or unlocks the smooth borers. Field works would be quite useful, but at the same time, what's in production? I know that I said just a few moments ago that I should focus on the society. I'm just looking at what would be in here. That's 8 to 12 months for the nitroglycerin. I think what we're going to do, though, is we're going to go for the banking. Extra minting is good for the economy. Well, at least for the treasury. Right, so we got standard of living of 10.1. But, you know, at least the population growth is now 40,000 per year on... or estimated. But that's not too bad. It's me or them. Leader of the church has had enough of compromising with his coalition partners. Has demanded that either his collaborators follow his orders, or the church will never approve of the changes. I think that is a ridiculous thing to say right now. We only got 12% chance of getting the agrarianism right now. We could increase it a little bit by bringing some other people into the government, but at the same time, if I'm shuffling the government around, then that's going to increase the radicals right now. We're trying to reduce them, because we still got quite a large chunk of our population being radicals. But who knows, maybe... Okay, bureaucratic imbroglio. That's going to be minus 10%, and... Okay, so that basically means that we won't be able to get the accreditation right now. Let's just cancel that, see if we can't do something else. Let's just wait for the week to tick over, so the loyalties reset. Or the approval ratings reset. We can't do the tax reforms yet. The militia would only be the peasant levies, and that's not a step to the correct direction. There is the serfdom. That'd be -8, so that would reduce our income even further. We could bring in the intelligentsia or the industrialists, or both, into the government, but that would reduce the legitimacy quite a bit. So maybe not that. Although, you know what, we'll give it a try. What's the worst that can happen, other than civil war? And bankruptcy. Right, but we've gotten at least a little bit more land in here. But again, yeah, it's not much. France being cautious about us is not good news. Although, okay, it's slightly getting better. Still got amicable relations with them. Unfortunately, there is no such thing as non-aggression pact, but a defensive pact would be useful, but they don't think that I'm worth the effort, or worth the point. Russian Nile interest activated. Oh, interesting. Now, we have gotten the loyalists up to 150,000 now, so I think the loyalist numbers are going fairly good. And the radicals have dropped about 100,000 in the last year or so, but that's also pretty nice. We have the shipyard. We are producing the clippers, pretty much all we need. Once we get the second level shipyard, we can afford switching to the military shipbuilding, because that is going to reduce the clipper production by 15 per shipyard. So, you know, that is potentially a bit expensive. So while we're building in here, we've got some logging camps. What we might want to do is get some logging camps, or at least one logging camp there. We'll sort of swap these around, so it's not going to be just one thing being built for forever in there. And the glass works, once that's done, that's going to be really useful. When is the lead mine done? That's going to be the number 4 on the list there. Alright. That's not too bad. Russian Nile interest removed. Alright. So, does Ottoman Empire like us? They are cautious. So right now, I don't think there's much I can expand to the north. We don't have a navy to expand to the south. Although we're slowly working on it, but it takes time. So let's have a look at around the world. So we've got East India Company as, I believe, independent. Yeah. The rival to Great Britain and Austria and the Netherlands. Alright. They probably have a pretty decent economy, or at least decent size of a workforce in there. And then we got Japanese shogunate. Oh, Russia is going to be advancing in there, I think. What is there to play about? Open Japanese market and Venetia Treaty Port. Ah. Alright. Oh, from Austria, I presume. And then Joseon, or Korea, is on the shogunate side as well as Austria. Well, that would be interesting. But yeah, right now, unless we want to fight against the Ottomans or someone, we can't really expand too much. And the Ottomans, if we have a look at the troops, they got 146 battalions. We got 65, plus whatever we can get from conscripts. 120, wow. Okay, we could get a lot of conscripts, but that would be tanking our economy. And France is now expanding in here. Oh, what's that? Mining accident. Those stratopops in Somaliland become more radical. Actually, we're going to increase the political strength of the rural folk. Because that's going to increase the chance of getting the serfdom abolished. And the serfdom, abolishing the serfdom is going to start increasing the standard of living quite a bit, which is going to reduce the radicals drastically. And there we go, we got the banking done. I think at this stage, we're going to go for the Central Archives. It's going to take 3 years, so it's definitely not cheap. But I think that is still going to be very much useful. I do actually wonder. So now it has reduced in price a lot. Okay, so since we did a bit more of the level 1 research. Ah, well, I mean, that's good. So you don't really want to go too far sort of ahead of time. You want to do sort of all of the earlier stuff as well. Maybe not quite all, but most of it. Okay, Casamit State is improving relations with us. What could I do with the... I could form a defensive pact with them, but that wouldn't really be all that great. I wonder if I could make them a tributary. No, probably not. What is our prestige right now? We've got 79. We need a lot more than that. But at least we are sort of high on the list here. Still unrecognized regional power, but, you know, Oh, there we go. Went even higher. So we got a GDP of 10.5 million. That's not too bad. The population is certainly growing, 40,000 per year. So that is a decent increase there. And serfdom abolished currently has 0% chance of succeeding. Alright, well, let's take that one away. Let's have a look at some other things that we could maybe try passing. Well, we could try passing Agrarianism again. Except the landowners would hate us. Okay, now we can do it again. We'll just keep rolling back and forth there. Of course, it is costing us a lot because the landowners are hating us throughout here. But once we get the food industries, that's going to be a very good source of money. Because you can basically just keep on increasing the size of that. Especially for us, since we do produce our own sugar in large quantities. And we got a decent amount of grain still. I believe we could actually increase the grain production even further. Let's just have a look. Okay, no, actually, well, I mean, we can build more farms, of course, but it's not necessarily that easy of an increase. Honestly, I'm not too worried about that. Is there any... Oh, right, the sweeteners, we'll put that and the pot still, so that also produces some liquor. Is there any other production changes over here that we can do? I mean, we did get the glass works already. Glass price isn't too bad. I suppose we can put in the leather glass soon. I mean, we'll need to wait for the building to be done. We can start producing porcelain, though. That's going to be making a lot of money. Especially, well, I mean, the glass price is also now going through the roof. But, you know, the porcelain, once we actually start selling a little bit in here, the demand for it is going to skyrocket. And once we get the leather glass, we can start producing a bit more glass as well. So that is going to keep that price in check. We could always just increase the level of the glass works there. Although, infrastructure, we're not using too much yet, but we are building... Let's see, that's 4 points from those. Plus the tobacco farm there, so there's 5 points extra, so that leaves us with 64. Okay. It's a bit expensive. How's the prices doing? So the glass price is through the roof. Fabric price is going up a little bit. Tobacco price is slowly dropping, because now we have some other luxury items that people can buy. Well, I suppose it is intoxicant, though, so it's not directly luxury, but, you know, it's still more things that people can use their money on. So the price is sort of dropping. And the groceries are now underway, so we are getting a decent bit of money from there as well, I presume. But it's already making a weekly balance of £1,000. They do actually... Is that... Well, yeah, that's going to be pretty decent. I don't know how much actually taxes they provide us. But it's still a pretty good amount of money in there. Right, so France is still cautious about us. Ottomans are cautious. Russia is cautious. Egypt... Oh, actually, no. Russia is genial. Egypt is genial. What about Britain? They're cooperative. And France, I don't think I can... Oh, yeah, they want my states. So I can't really improve that. Hey, we finally got the Agrarianism. Well, about time. Let's wait for a moment to see what the loyalty of the landowners is going to be. Currently at 1 point. Okay, did we get the school? We didn't get the religious schools yet, because we do not have, or we've not gotten rid of serfdom. Alright, the police force, we could go for the dedicated police force. Although that would anger the landowners even further, but that would also reduce the landowners' political strength by 10%, which isn't necessarily massive. It's better than nothing. That would also start decreasing the radicals from standard of living decreases. So, you know, that might actually be worthwhile. And it's not going to increase the administration use. Did we... Right, now that we've got the Agrarianism, that does mean that we are getting some investment from the investment pool. Although it might run out soon enough, but let's... Also, it unlocks some of the trade things over here once we get the... Actually, we don't have anyone supporting that, and mercantilism is also not supported by anyone. So I think once we get rid of the serfdom, which is hopefully going to be happening soon enough. Landowners are definitely unhappy there. And if they go below 10 in loyalty, then they're going to leave the government, and that means that we won't be able to pass anything, basically. So that's a bit of a problem. Oh, we're going to get another iron mine in Somaliland very shortly. So that is going to increase our iron production decent bit. And it's going to start dropping the iron price as well, which is definitely needed. Hey, shotgun research. I wonder what's going to be the next one. That the... spread is going to... logistics. That's going to mean even more conscripted battalions. Not really bad. Oh, there we go. Iron price dropping drastically. But yeah, right now we're just mostly expanding our industry. We could, technically speaking, increase the construction industry even further. Oh, nitroglycerin has spread. Excellent, so that's going to mean that we might start discovering some other things in here. Ooh, canneries are spreading well. That's really good. I mean, that does require a bit of iron, but at the same time, it's going to reduce the grain uses and increase the fish uses for the groceries production. But at the same time, it's going to increase the groceries production as well by 30. So it increases the usage up to 20, but increases the groceries by 30. So that is still sort of making more things to sell than what is using the inputs. So it's definitely added value. The dedicated police force is, well, it's not got that massive support yet. But at least it's going forward. I mean, yeah, I could definitely switch around the government a little bit, get the church out of there for the time being. Until we've got on... Yeah, you know what? We'll do that. Get the church out of there, that's going to increase the radicals quite a bit. And if we were to bring in the... Well, the industrialists aren't very popular. But we're going to need the industrialists anyway, so we'll start bolstering them. That's going to be... Is that going to be a 19% chance of success or succeeding right now? Probably not yet. No, not on this one, but it's going to increase the chance of getting the serfdom repelled, for example. If I remember correctly. Yeah, the industrialists do support that. So it would be 14% chance right now. Oh, right, it's not showing the numbers correctly. Or not showing the full numbers yet. But that's alright. So the lead mine is now done. Let's go ahead and switch the glassworks to start using lead. So there's some demand for it at least, and that's also going to start producing a lot more of the... Well, actually, it's mostly, I suppose, just the glass production that increases. And does it... it does reduce the wood uses as well. So, you know, we have a little bit less demand for the wood. I mean, we got... Yeah, minus 200 in there right now, so that is definitely not the best. But we are unfortunately out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.